Welcome back to episode 2 of A Brutal Vulcan Start. My priority right now is to enclose this work area. Obviously, just spending like 70% of my time sitting inside without doing anything is not very useful. So I'm going to go ahead and build the base out, the platform out a little further, and then we'll weld the frames on the bottom, and we'll create a bunch of walls for the sides and the roof. And then we'll reroute the one active vent I'm using to ventilate this room out, which is a pretty common technique. So here I am just going ahead and I thought about just closing the current size, but I figure I had the time to make it like one frame larger. So fortunately, it's all required is iron, and that smelts pretty quickly, and I have quite a bit right now. So I thought I had one more, but then I realized it's sitting next to the wall there. Kind of hoping, I don't think it happened. I'm kind of hoping nothing goes flying off into below. All right, a little piece out there is my little landing area. I'll sort of kind of watch this as it goes. Weld all this up. Let's zip over here and I should keep that printer going right now to see if I had enough, just enough. Of course, I'll need a lot more iron sheets for the walls. All right, so the bottom part's done. All right, so I'm going to alternate between, let's throw some more in there while that's keeping busy. And I'll just make iron walls. We can't obviously make any steel yet. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe I should have done this a little earlier, but, just wasn't a lot of free time. And, only after this last run do I have enough materials. All right, so I'm extending this out here. I guess I could have gone up. I went out in this direction, so if I build something on top, I don't have this in the way. And I had the pipes, so it wasn't really a big deal. So once I get this built out, then I can create a vacuum, and that allows me to work it during the day cycle. Now, this is obviously a very common technique. It just takes a little bit longer to apply it, at least for me. All this stuff's in the way. I'm actually going to put these on the inside so I can put a frame there later on for building an airlock. I put the window there. That's also pretty common. Then I just need to pull up a glass sheet to get out. I don't need to, pull up an iron sheet and then use the grinder to remove the whole wall. And then we'll just put a glass sheet on there. At some point, I will put a door. Although I don't actually make the door in this episode. I was just prioritizing other things and was good enough. So I think probably episode 3, I'll throw a door on there just to make it a little more convenient, or more specifically, a manual hatch on there. And there's just too many things to do. And then another seriously sore spot is more power. I consider focusing on power first, but with this I can just be more flexible side to side. Go ahead and just close this now and be done with it. That'll make everything a bit easier. Okay, we have, just double checking it, we have an enclosed base. Well, within reason. I'm hoping to do a little bit of mining here real quick before it gets, it's already heating up, so. Just, well, there's some, just nothing, you know, it's always the more, now I'm going, well, screw it. I was hoping to find some copper nearby. Yeah, that night cycle is pretty short. Turn this on, and we're dead. All right, we'll just flop this over here and pop that over there. Turn my light off. Trying to think of something useful I can do here while I'm waiting. Yeah, let's get some iron, throw some lockers up there and make it kind of easier to organize things so I don't have the whole floor full of ore. But we're starting to dig ourselves out of this hole here. We now have, and the advantage of this now is that now I can spend the full night cycle mining, versus before where I had to do mining and construction during the night and then hide during the day. So, which is more typical. So now every time it hits night, I'll just do a full mining run. Come back in here, hide, and then I can go ahead and smelt and build during the long day cycle. Just kind of looking around. Leave my lights off, so I'm kind of looking around for stuff laying around. Put one more locker on the other side. So another problem, it's coming up real close, is my jetpack is getting low, and I go through that pretty quickly on Stationeers difficulty. Since I have that nice long exhaust pipe going from my airlock across the wall to outside, I figure I just tap into that. I'll put a pressure regulator on it, and then a tank storage unit. And then when I'm in here, I'll just turn it on. I'll set it to like 8,000 or around there. Drop my tank in there and let it fill up with atmospheric gas. That's perfectly fine. And then it'll shut down automatically because the pressure regulator is set. So that will solve the jetpack issue. So now I don't have to worry about the jetpack. Having an enclosed base. So power is the other problem. So the big problem. So I need to build some more turbines. Now, I could obviously build some logic circuits and maybe even do a simple version and get the solar tracking better, even though it's not a perfect track, to improve it a bit and just like track on the horizontal. And so Yeah, I probably, it's like everything else. It's just one more thing to do. And if I print the stuff up and lay it out, I wire all that stuff and I got to put a day sensor outside, and it's a lot of screwing around time. The time goes pretty quickly when you're just mucking around with that. Some of it's outside. And, it's just more like finding when the time to do it, and there's always something else is more priority. So for right now, I'm just going to throw a lot more turbines at it. I want to get 6 turbines up on the top, and then once I have that, then I'll probably go back to the solar. So in this episode, I don't actually muck with the solar, or just go full bore and get the in episode 3 should probably shoot for the furnace. So I can create steel, and then with that, I can get some IC chips and do it proper. So this little technique is not so bad. It consumes the floor. And the reason I'm concerned about that is that I'm trying to think where I can stick an AC unit. And so because I have all this CO2 not CO2, waste gas, and there's a lot of O2 in there, and I'm not getting as much pressure. So what I need to do is I need to take all the gas in this room, maybe make the room bigger, and I need to dump it in the room. I need to cool it down. I need to put some plants in here to consume the CO2, and then take the O2 and pump that into a tank. And I got to be careful because I can't consume all the O2 out of here. I need enough O2 still to be able to take my suit off and hang out for a little bit. So that's a concern. The lander actually had a nice, like 400 and almost 500 moles of water. So it's not just the water bottles. So when I run out of the water bottles, I just get a filler set up and get a tank and all that. And that gets me going, the water and the food. So I think mucking around the O2 is going to be, so I might just take this back section and expand it a bit, just a little bit. Probably just one frame is all I really need. That would give me enough room to, put a water filler and an AC system. And then for the AC coolant line, I'm just going to do something simple. I need to build an insulated tank. Well, I need steel for that. I need steel. And now I'm just going to collect gas at night, throw it in a tank, and hook that into the waistline of the AC. And I mean, for a small space like this is perfectly fine. I'm not going to screw around with phase change stuff right now. Go with the old reliable. It's not most efficient, but it's pretty quickly to knock out. But that relies on getting my furnace going. And that, I only got that. So I'm going to actually make some more turbines here too at some point. Scavenging through batteries. So yeah, one thing I need to stop doing is if you have a battery that's really low, don't store it in tools, store it in your backpack so you don't forget about it. I'm actually doing a lot better with a small battery in my suit than I thought I would. Okay, yeah. For the hygiene issue, what I do, I just sort of just sit in my little O2 room until it goes away, and then I figure that's good enough for the next, game's day cycle. Once I expand that room a little bit, then maybe I can do something useful in there. So now I'm kind of stuck, waiting for night. Yeah, I think I'm out of gold and almost out of copper. And of course, I spent the last night cycle is typically used for mining to build out the structure of the base, which was very important to do. So that will make things much easier at this point. Probably overdoing the vacuum part. Since I'm just standing here, I could probably just turn the vent off, close the door, turn the vent off, and just sit here waiting for the... So there's nothing going on out there. All right, I'm going to speed this next section up because I'm just standing here waiting for night. Okay, now we're at 5x. It's still taking forever. I'm just kind of watching my batteries. Trying to think of something I can do. I was just looking at what I need to make some equipment, which I just not out of everything. So I kind of standing here because this room has nil, and out there has a fraction of gas. Yeah, I can't wait till I'm able to cool my O2, and then it becomes much less critical to, going out. And of course, once I have a lot more ore, more power, then I have more things to keep me busy. All right, so I'm going to put the furnace right here. And I was just kind of figuring out where I'm going to put the furnace. And so I put this frame, I'm going to take this frame back down again. So this wall down again. So what I'm initially thinking is I would take the other piece off and then put it out there, put the furnace in a full frame out there. Actually, it's probably would have better. Then I say later on, put it inside. And yeah, all right. So as I said, when it gets dark, it's time to go out. Okay, so now I'm paying a lot more attention to my direction, which direction I go in. So I'm doing either 0, 90, 180, or 270 away from the base. So I know to kind of go in that one direction, and I'll keep going that one direction for the most part. And then that's right next to the base there. And then I will just reverse my coordinate and go back. To get a portable beacon, I need a tool printer. So which is more stuff to print off. If I make that, I can make that in a labeler. So very end of this episode, I actually make my tool printer. So then I can create the beacon, and then I can go wandering around and not get lost. And that makes it a little bit easier. So then with the jetpack being filled and the beacon, then I can be much more aggressive in mining. The early mining, I had to be very careful. I couldn't sort of use the jetpack inside the crevices because I didn't want to consume it all and be in a situation where I just run out of gas, and that's bad. Found a little solder there, lead actually, and then I need to empty out this junk and have a full back. So I just grab a couple pieces and we'll throw that inside. Yeah, seal that back up and turn it back on. All right, so we got some ore. So we can actually do some useful. We've got some charged batteries. Yeah, let's flip out our mining tool so we always have power for that. I'm kind of looking at where I'm going to put the jetpack filler. My jetpack is definitely getting in the dangers. Really can't make another mining run at this point without filling it. I'm just getting enough there, so. Yeah, it's not too bad. I just need I already made the utility gas unit sitting right up there, planning ahead. So I just need a pressure regulator. Got enough pipes. I need the copper. Yeah, copper is, there are spots with a lot of copper. Well, obviously, there's a lot of spots of the copper. I just got to find them. I can't be too aggressive yet. So, all right, turn my flashlight off finally. So this little technique worked out pretty well. We got pipes, we got regulator. And since we have the wiring, pretty close to the wall there, I just tap into that. I'm trying to think what else I should be doing here while I'm screwing around, putting that thing together. Yeah, more cables. I got 2 left. Just kind of thinking where to put it. Yeah, but then I'll just snake the container the other way. I should have just connected the gas line. That goes there. Left my printer turned on. All right, so now we just have to zip this down here. And yeah, the initial batch of pipes kind of worked out. No labeler, so we'll do it the hard way. Just crank it all the way up. All right. Boom. Let that sitting there, and that actually fills pretty quickly. I mean, given how long I sit in here, it'll be easily full before I. So that's not a problem. Okay, so jetpack has been solved. So we have we can and the advantage of this now, I can get a little more aggressive in the crevices because I can just burn plenty of gas and just fill it during each day cycle. Now the next problem, I need more power. And I'm going to throw the turbines at it. So I figured I'd go up to 6. I think I go up to 4 by the end of this episode, and then I'll make 2 more in the beginning of the next episode. And with 6, if you hit a storm, each one generates 800 watts. And so 6 times 8 is 4,800, which keeps it under the 5,000 for the standard cable. All right, so while that's printing over there, we can do something useful in here. We'll top off our tank. This is going to become painful here. So it's down to 5,000 or so. Probably should make some more active. Yeah, no battery in my fill there. Yeah, I end up making some more small batteries too later on. Make it a little easier to manage. And I said, I'm going to organize this room a little better at some point, but it's just not worth the time. Of course, that's kind of a dumb thing to say because I had time to muck around here because I stand around. So maybe in the next episode I'll move things around since I'm just sitting around here anyway. Yeah, I was just trying to just put a little bit of more gas in there. Just kind of mucking around. All right, so although this does make the hydration eat cycle a little easier, you just pull your suit off and not worry about unlocking your helmet. Yeah, and there's four more waters on the lantern still. I'm going to grab that in this episode, and there's more of the food, another box of the food or bag of the food. Yeah, I think food is going to, that's going to come up to a problem too. So I think the next episode we're going to focus on getting steel. Once we have steel, then we can definitely crank out the frames and the steel sheets much faster. And then just maybe expand this out because I can move the O2 into the airlock there. And I can't make it too big because I got to maintain the pressure for the plant. So maybe just 2 frames larger would be fine. And that would give me enough room to get the plants going and an AC unit in here. So we'll shoot with that. So I think next, I'm just thinking if I should expand it first before I screw around with the steel. And I think I can make everything. I wonder if I can make the grow light without steel. I have to double check that. All right, back out here. Let's get it out of the way. We'll just toss it in that room. And obviously I keep that room in its vacuum because those pipes are not insulated. Just checking all my batteries here. Let's probably turn off that stuff. Just checking how much power I have to go ahead and run this. Another large battery. Well, I don't have enough power to run too much stuff. Okay, so we got at least one more turbine. And that's got plenty of pressure. So that's good. All right, so that's another problem solved. Yeah, there's sort of this build up debt because you don't get all the stuff when you first start. I've actually wanted an advanced scenario without the trader equipment. So I sort of got my wish here. I'll need steel sheets on the glass so I can wrap the furnace with windows. I don't have to. I do it because it looks cool. So I decided here, okay, I'm going to put the furnace inside. Now I'm thinking I could put it outside, but I'm just going to put it inside. We'll just do it that way. Probably really doesn't matter all that much. I mean, it's not, I can put something in, if I put it out, one frame out, the space in front of it's still kind of wasted because I can't block it. And in the middle, and I can't really put it in the middle, but the main hallway is main hallway, so I can't block that, so that's kind of pointless. I put the windows around it just because it looks cool, it's like, for no other reason. It's more interesting to do all this. Once I have a much better power situation, I can leave actually, I just go ahead and put overhead lights in at that point. But we're a little ways from there. And that's when we know we're doing well, when we have the power to light up the workshop. Yeah, we're really putting a pressure on that poor little battery. So I do have one more turbine, and hopefully I'll print another one off and then get that up there. Help a little bit. And once I get those 6 up there, then I'll focus on pure solar after that. Just too many things to do. All right. We're just going to drain that battery. All right, so the furnace will sit in there and at some point. And what I'll do is I'll pull off that back wall. So the back will be open, but the inner ones will have windows. And I'll use chutes to get stuff in and out. I'm taking the partial ores in this side just so I can stack them up. I like stacking everything in 50s when I'm doing when I'm mixing ores, alloys. So if all the stacks are all 50s, then it makes it easier to get the right ratios. Trying to see what I'm doing here. So that side should be 50s, this side should be sub 50s, and that's kind of just weird. All right. Should probably turn off that, side. Go ahead and do a little bit of smelting. Oh, okay. About time to get outside and make sure to turn that off, because I don't want to leave that running while I'm outside. Okay, next episode for sure, I'm putting a door in it. I'm just going to actually move it later on. I stick it here now just to, it's fast and easy to do. If I move it over by 1, then I get 3 across on 2 frames. All right, so this is just mostly junk, but I like a neat planet. Yeah, that thing, that insulated container, and you don't want to unwrap it till you need it. It actually has like 460 liters of water. And that'll become very useful. I'm trying to think what the first thing I'm going to run out of. Well, I definitely need to get stuff planted for both. It's not the food, really. I need to start generating O2. And I need to have a crap load of potatoes going at some point. All right, and then look in here. There's these 2. Don't forget those things. They're actually listed in the when you first start. It'll list these 2 items that are part of the lander capsule itself. But I kind of was just looking around and saw them. Oh, this is useful because I originally didn't think I had it anymore, and that would make this definitely much more difficult. Now you see where I can go crazy with the jetpack now, so this makes this much easier. And I find a whole bunch of gold. It's like, and I'm like, okay, well, I found a bunch of gold. I really need copper, but You know, gold sometimes can be hard to find, so I'm just going to keep milking the gold train here. So I end up with all this gold, but not enough copper. But get some more silver, I make some electron and solder and all the good stuff. All right. So it's another beautiful day on Vulcan. Close that. Make the mad rush. Turn on the vent. All right, so we got another. Oh, we got a blue battery. That's good. That's good news. It's probably. Yeah, I need to smelt some gold, and I'm trying to get this thing to much of a vacuum as I can before I throw that in there. As long as it's pretty much a vacuum, then no explosions. All right. Just not having enough small batteries drive me crazy here, so we're gonna make 2 small batteries. Forgot to throw my jetpack in there, but it fills pretty quickly, so I do it later on. I don't want too many batteries coming out. Okay, perfect.
Power low.
I can't see anything now. Yeah, just trying to stack them and getting the units at 50 here. Yeah, I need a lot more. I've considered I could build a solid generator too. And if I had a station battery, it's probably worth, doing that just to get a nice good charge on it. But coal can be difficult to find. I don't want to waste it when I can use it for steel, and just haven't gotten it on here. I need some more gold. So I'm kind of waiting for everything to get kind of settled in here, and then I'll just throw some gold in there. Looking around for something useful to do. Trying to decide whether I can go ahead and do some gold right now or not. I put some gold over here if I can find it. Yeah. I think I'm being a little too paranoid at this point. Yeah, definitely too paranoid. I was just practicing hitting the button, and nothing happened. I'll check my battery, the power. Man, it's a lot of work just to smelt some gold, and nothing happens. All right, all that for nothing. So we make sure we get a super vacuum in here, and we're just making sure the batteries. So I'm going to go in and hydrate and all that fun games. So I'm just making sure that I got batteries charging. Yeah, I need to stop. At this point, I really need to don't hang outside once it gets a little warmer. Once it hits like 127, make a mad rush back in. And the reason is because the more I go through, the faster I'm going through this O2 tank. And I got things to do before I can start cooling and recycling O2. So let's see, we make this. Can I make this 1 frame bigger? Would that be big enough? I think 1 frame. Maybe build it out one frame, and that would be big enough. And then I just need to, yeah, that should be enough. Try to minimize the work done back here, and then I can think about, because what I can do is I can build one atmospheric unit, and I use it to cool it. And once it's cooled, now I'll just turn around and take it apart and reassemble it as a filtration unit, and then filter out the O2, and then into some tanks. And then I can use pressure regulator from there to, no, let's go back. So if I have an AC unit, make the room one bigger, I could probably fit an AC unit in here. Let's just go with one. If you make it one bigger, and then I had room to put some plants in here. So let's make it one bigger. Then I can go ahead and dump all the gas into the room, cool it, pump it all back in. Now the gas is cooled in the pipes, and then I throw a filtration device in to pull out, and then I just pull the O2 out into a canister, and that would work. Probably better just to filter into another set of pipes, and then from there I can use a pressure regulator to push it, so I'm not worried about blowing something up. So I'm just sort of brainstorming what I need to do in the next episode, whether 3 or 4. So far this is not going too bad. Definitely makes the starting scenario. So these have like, I think, because the lander has like an explosion inside, but what's inside is not actually damaged, even though the package itself. So I'm not sure it's always 95, or I just get lucky. Because that burned up, then it's pretty much gamed over. I'm just kind of standing around waiting for my that little hygiene symbol to go off here. And we'll speed this section up. And believe it or not, it's just 5x. So I'm just staring at the pipe. So, and indicator went off, and so now we can gear back up again and get back to doing useful things. Trying to think of anything I could have done differently in this episode. I think it's gone pretty well. Running out of copper slowed me down a little bit, but that's the breaks of the random map. And there's plenty of copper out there. I just bypassing it. I'm going in the wrong direction. Another problem too. Now, in early game, I didn't want to go too far because I didn't want to burn up too much of my jetpack. Here,
Jetpack critical.
got to throw that in there, but it fills pretty quickly. Let's keep the arc furnace busy here and trying to think of useful things I can be doing. Yeah, we're going to need some chutes with the furnace so we can throw things in and get things out. And we have another turbine. And that should make the power a little bit less of a problem here coming up. And another blue battery. Yeah, that should be more than enough. I think by now I count how many I need. They're always useful for something, so. All right, that's 2. We can stack them. Got plenty of cable. Yeah, arc furnace is in a bad spot. Can't wait to get rid of that. And let's go ahead and make a tool printer. Finish up the collection. Just sort of weeding here. Go ahead and organize some of my gear. Figure where I'm going to put it. Some of the stuff like just toss in the lava. I really don't need flares or seeds I need. I'll save these. Don't need the crate, don't need the solar. I never used that. I don't think just any scenarios. Maybe when I first started playing the game, I used a portable solar unit, but for the most part, I ignore it. All right, so now we have a nice clean base. Everything's put away. Got a nice full jetpack. Tool printer is printing. And uh-oh. Yeah. I'm going, oh crap, don't abort. So we'll turn this off. And we made it with like 3%. And it started. I guess we'll play with the tool printer in the next episode. Let's go outside and boost our power production a little bit. All right. So, kind of think what I'm going to do here with the. I figure, well, maybe I'll wire them first, and then it makes it easier to drop in. And this is when I realize, no, I can get 3 across. I don't need to do 1 per frame. So I'll just figure I'd just drop them in here, and it goes in the center. All right, I wasn't just making sure I knew where the wires go. And it turns out there's plenty of room to get in there. So the goal was to put 3 on each side at some point. We'll have 4 now. So, and while we don't have a lot of pressure, and they seem to work reasonably. Yeah, if I had that big boy up there tracking, I'm sure I would get plenty of power. I think I'm going to wait until I have an IC chip. Okay, so we're just going to do a little rearrangement now. So move this guy over one.
Power low.
So I'm going to move the one. I probably really shouldn't be wasting my time doing this. I want the base to look pretty. So what I'm going to do on the top there, probably put another solar panel up there later on. So now we'll have, and I keep, that's a habit when I had a beacon, because if you play normal, you get a portable beacon unit in your starting kit. All right, we're just gonna, we picked a direction and we flew in that direction, and we found a bunch of copper. All right, we're doing 5x, but it seems more jumping than it should be. All right, so what's gonna happen now? We're just gonna do some mining. We're gonna mine until it starts warming up. Then we're gonna fly back to the base and close the door and turn the vent on, and we'll end the episode there. So it's day 7. Still surviving, still got plenty of water and everything else. And a picture of my base. So power's getting much better, and we got a lot of copper, which we needed. So things are still need a door there. But yeah, we're digging out that hole. And until next time, see ya.